The keenly watched sex for contracts corruption trial involving ex-Central Narcotics Bureau Chief Boon Gay and former IT sales executive Cecilia Sue will resume on January 28. Over the first 14 days of the trial, sordid details of and Ms. Sue's sexual trysts emerged. The accused, Boon Gay, is facing 4 charges of corruptly receiving oral sex from Cecilia Sue in exchange for advancing the business interests of her former employers, Hitachi Data Systems and Oracle Singapore. The 4 alleged offences took place in various car parks in Singapore between July and December 2011. Ms. Sue, the key prosecution witness, took to the stand for 5 days. The 36-year-old claimed that had forced her to perform oral sex on him, and she did it out of fear of offending the senior police officer. She insisted the accused was just a friend and business client. However, details of a pregnancy scare and suggestive text and WhatsApp messages between the two contradicted Sue's oral testimony. The messages included, "Do you DIY? You ignore me. How? My SP has a chip. It is in your body now. Will you take it in?" In court, Ms. Sue was unable to explain the stark discrepancies between her 10 CPIB statements and oral testimony, and in a dramatic twist of events, the prosecution turned against their own witness and accused Ms. Sue of lying under oath. On day 7 and 8 of the trial, Mr. Teng Kee Fat, the Deputy Director of the Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau, or CPIB, took to the witness stand. His credibility was questioned when defense lawyer Tan Chi Ning asked why Mr. Teng had given Ms. Sue special attention. This included hours of private conversations in his office, as well as having up to 7 CPIB officers escort Ms. Sue in and out of court. A photograph of Mr. Teng picking Ms. Sue up after one of her court appearances was also submitted by the defense as evidence. Defense counsel also argued that Mr. Teng's offer to to plead guilty was inappropriate. Teng tried to persuade me to plead guilty or he'll use the media publicity to embarrass me. If I do not plead guilty, he will throw everything at me. He will drag out all parties and families through the mud, reveal the names of all involved, and expose the case to media publicity. But Mr. Teng's investigation diary also revealed that the accused was worried about the case coming to light. Asked if the CPIB can cover up the names of the girls involved, as it would go crazy if his wife found out. Had also said he is not guilty and cannot go to prison. One prominent figure outside the case has been Ng's wife, Yap Yen Yen, who accompanied to court every day throughout the entire trial. The former CNB chief was put on the stand for 5 days from day 10 to day 14 of the corruption trial. He claimed that Ms. Sue and him were in a sexual, physical and intimate relationship for 3 years from 2009 to 2011 and had oral sex 20 to 30 times. The pair also had sexual intercourse in a service apartment at Great World City in 2009. His defense is that his intimate relationship with Sue was personal and posed no conflict of interest to his role as the head of CNB. The prosecution's case is that is corrupt because he did not opt out of the approval process for 2 IT contracts that Ms. Sue was pursuing as a sub-vendor. Although Ms. Sue's former employers were not contracting directly with CNB, a civil servant is duty-bound to err on the side of caution and declare potential conflicts of interest. A total of 9 prosecution witnesses and 2 defense witnesses were called up to testify in the 14-day trial. If found guilty, can be fined up to $100,000 or jailed up to 5 years on each charge. Log on to Razor TV for our coverage of the Sex for Contracts corruption trial.